And welcome back to another episode of Python Data Engineer Interview Prep. Today we are going to solve the merge sort problem. And again, this is a very frequently asked interview question. And let's look into the problem statement. We are given two arrays, nums1 and nums2, which is already sorted in the non-decreasing order. And we are given m and n, where it represents the number of elements in num1 and nums2. So m is equal to 3. That represents the number of elements in num1, and n is equal to 3. That represents the number of elements in nums2. So we have to use nums1 array with additional 3 digits here, which represents the length of nums2, to sort nums1 and nums2 here. So we cannot use any additional array to store the intermediate values. So let's get started with the code. So I'll start with 3 pointers here. So first pointer will be at the maximum value of this nums1, and the second pointer will be at the maximum value of nums2, and the third pointer will be at the last value of nums1 here. When I say last value, whatever array they have provided, and the last value for that nums1. So let's start with these 3 pointers. I'll just say L is equal to m minus 1. So while L is greater than 0 and R is greater than 0, I'll iterate through that nums1 and nums2 here. So the first condition I'll try to check is if 3 is greater than 6. If nums1 of L is greater than nums2 of R. So in this condition, 3 is not greater than 6. So it should come to else block. So if 3 is not greater than 6, which means 6 is the greatest number. Now I have to replace this value with the last value of p here. That means I'm just trying to sort these two arrays here and then merge them together. So since I know 6 is the largest number now, I need to just swap that value to the last value of p here. I'll just say nums of p. So once I swap the values, I'll decrement r counter and decrement p counter. Now r will be pointing to 5 and p will be pointing to this 0 here. And in the next iteration, again I'll check if 3 is greater than 5. 3 is not greater than 5. Again it will be in the same else block, and then 5 will be replaced with this one. So at this point, my array should look like, after the second iteration, array will be looking like 5, 6 here. So after second iteration, 5 will be replaced here. P will be pointing to this 0 and R will be pointing to 2, and L is still pointing to 3 here. Again I'll check if 3 is greater than 2. So here in this condition, 3 is greater than 2. Now it will come into this if block. So this time I'll be replacing P and L. Now the array will look something like, after this iteration, that will look like 3 here. Now P will be pointing to 3 and L will be pointing to 2 here. I have to decrement the counter. So P will be pointing to 3, L will be pointing to 2, and again R will be pointing to 2. So now again we'll check if 2 is greater than 2. 2 is not greater than 2, so it will come here. At this point, I'll just replace again P and R, and at this point, the array should be looking like, So on top of this array, that will be replaced with p. So that will be 2 here. And it will just continue with the other checks. Even though there is nothing to change, it will just proceed until these conditions are met here. So for this example, we were able to iterate the entire nums1 and nums2. Now if we take the second one as the example here, let's put some print statements to see. Yeah, if we see here, this value are, I have to put inside R for the second one, and I'll put inside L for the first one. Yeah, so this is inside L. Now L value, it is like -1, so this condition is met. It is no longer greater than 0, so it will just come out of this loop. But if we see here, we still have value of 1 which is in nums2, which is in R. So there might be these scenarios where we just iterated and L, it became -1, but still couple of values are remaining in nums2. And in order to solve that one, we have to have one more while loop just for R. So I'll just copy this here, and then the same thing, just iterate through that remaining list and decrement the counter until this condition is met here. So let's print and see how nums1 looks like now. Yeah, so nums1, we have the required output here. So this is the additional while condition we have to check. So no need to return anything, but I'll just try to print nums1 here to get the output. Let's run both scenarios. I'll just take out the print statements too. So we have the required output here, and even for this the same output, but I just changed the order in order to demonstrate why we have to use this while loop here. So that will be the same output. Let me just copy this code and then run in the lead code here. I'll submit this code to see if it passed all the edge cases. Yeah, this code is been accepted. Yeah, thank you for watching this video.